Welcome, everybody. This is another Bible study by the Positive Action Ministry. 52 Saturdays, 52 Bible studies, no matter what happens. So, we're going to do a Bible study on Esther 3, and we're going to get our first volunteer to read. Now, I say volunteer, but they will be told. So, is it a volunteer? We'll see. Minister, can you read verse 1? I'm gonna have to ask you to try to translate then, brother.
Okay. I can read it. I can read it.
Okay, here.
Well, no, he has to read it because he was
Sometime later, King Xerxes promoted Haman, son of Hammedatha, the Agagite, over all the other nobles, making him the most powerful official in the empire.
Ooh, okay. Your question. Actually, I'm gonna ask. Everyone should have listened to him reading. If you didn't listen to him reading, we can read right now because your name might pop up. Ralph.
Yes, sir.
My question to you is: why is it significant that he's a Agagite? What does that even?
I couldn't hear you, Brandon. Sorry. Go ahead.
Why is it significant that he's an Agagite?
Oh, Agatai.
Yeah.
What's going on?
I mean, he was not a Jewish guy, so that's insignificant because he was from, he was not a non-believer like the Jewish.
No, that's not the answer.
There's a little bit more significance. It's very true. He's not Jewish.
But that's not the answer.
Do you have any other context? If not, Renee, go ahead. You said you think you know the context.
Because this.
And then he gave him a position of power, you know.
No, I
Yeah, but I'm asking why is that Agagite important?
It is because significant. He was a descendant of those people. When the Israelites were being attacked, they didn't help the Jews, and then they collaborated to destroy the Jews. Therefore, he was a descendant for those people, and he hated the Jew, and he came from those ancestors in the past. That's why he had a inner hate against the Jewish people.
Good. Yes. He has from a tribe of Agagite, which comes from an earlier tribe called the Amalekites. Amalekites were basically sworn enemies of the Jews.
Yes.
No, not too different from the Canaanites from the past also. So these guys hated the Jews as officially, like as a job, basically. So the fact that he's a descendant from that, and he's the highest visor or the highest noble under Xerxes, of course not above Xerxes, but under Xerxes, is a significant situation. So the next one, who's going to read verses 2 to 3, is going to be Eric. Go ahead. Verses 2 and 3.
All the king's officials bowed down before Haman to show him respect whenever he passed by, for the king had a command. But Mordecai, I think it is, Mordecai refused to bow down or show him respect. Then the palace officials at the king's gate asked Mordecai, "Why are you disobeying the king's command?"
And Eric, it landed back on you. I'll ask you this question. This is not actually a informative question. It's just a question on you personally. Do you think if you were Mordecai at the time, you're part of the royal court, would you just kneel down, or would you have not?
No, I wouldn't.
You want to kneel down?
No.
You want to keep the peace?
No, I'll try to make justice.
No, that's tough, you know.
Spoken like a true police officer.
That's true, actually. That is talking. I wouldn't back down. I think realistically, I would have been kneeled down. I would have kept the copacetic.
Now, if I wouldn't have been a Jew, because Judah is not supposed to bow down to anyone. I mean, most are not supposed to Jew. Maybe I wouldn't bow
So you
down.
say you never bowed down to Xerxes?
Well, if it's
Oh, no, it's true. Yeah.
So
It was personal. It was personal.
Yeah.
Down because he didn't like the other guy.
well, this and for the fair, the other guy didn't like him.
So they hate
But
each
this
other.
only adds more fuel to the fire, right? And this adds problems because we're gonna see what happens. In next, Hannah, can you read verses 4? Can you read verses
Let me see if I can in English.
4, 5? and 6. I apologize. 4, 5, and 6.
Okay. Now it came to pass when they spake
Mhm.
daily unto him, and he, how do you pronounce that word?
Told Haman,
Haman, to see whether Mordecai matters will stand, for he had told them that he was a Jew.
Mhm.
And when Haman saw that Mordecai bowed,
No bow.
Did not
Not
kneel
bow.
down or bow or pay him honor.
Hold on. Where?
You
Let's
have,
start at 6. So he didn't pay. So I'll read 5. Whether Haman saw
Uh-huh.
that Mordecai would not kneel down or pay him honor, he was enraged. Number 6.
And he thought scorn to lay hands on Mordecai alone, for they had. Oh, I have the wrong Bible. That's why.
yeah, you have the old,
Yeah.
I'll finish it
King
off.
James
then.
Yeah,
version.
finish, please.
No problem. Yet, having learned that who Mordecai's people were, he scorned the idea for killing not only Mordecai. Instead, Haman looked for a way to destroy all of Mordecai's people, the Jews.
Yeah.
Nina, my question is, now knowing the result of the situation, was Mordecai right or wrong in his action of not kneeling down?
I think that he was right
He was right to not kneel down.
because, yes,
Go ahead. Why? You were going to say
so he was defending our people.
he was
Defending other people.
defending other people. What do you mean by that?
The Jewish people.
He represented the Jewish people?
Yes.
I would say he represented the Jewish people and he didn't want to bow down to an enemy of the state, effectively, okay? But we have to look at here and then see in verses 7 and 8 what occurs.
No, it was Hannah.
Now it's Hannah. Hannah, can you read verses 7 and 8?
In the 12th year of King Xerxes, in the first month, the month of Nisan, the that is the lot, was cast in the presence of Haman to select a day and month. And the lot fell on the 12th month, the month of Adar. Then Haman said to King Xerxes, there is a certain people dispersed among the peoples in all the provinces of your kingdom who keep themselves separate. Their customs are different from those of all other people, and they do not obey the king's law. It is not in the king's best interest to tolerate them.
All right. Ralph,
Yes.
what would be a modern day comparison to what Haman had just told Xerxes? Could you make a comparison that might be occurring today on how Haman tried to convince Xerxes that a certain type of people were a problem?
Yeah. Well, for example, today or on the throughout the history.
Let's do. Well, if you have an example throughout history, I'm interested.
Yeah, I said, well, one good example is Hitler. He didn't like the Jews, so therefore he put in a concentration camp. I started killing them because they were Jewish. There was nothing else wrong with these people. Just the same way that he said that they were disseminated throughout the kingdom. And you know that in this chapter later on we said that the people from the king that in the palace, you say, the Jewish people were good people, and then they were surprised that he was trying to he wanted to kill them then,
So yeah,
and annihilate them, kill them, destroy them, and so, but I think Hitler was a good example or that can compare to this guy, and Haman.
now it's a wonderful example actually, because if you look at Hitler's rise to power, what he does is the Germans who lost World War I is upset, they're been beaten. So what does Hitler do when he gains power? He said, hey, we're weak because of these people who are different than us, different customs, they think differently, they dress differently. These people are what's holding us backwards. And it's not too dissimilar to what Hamas said to Xerxes thousands of years ago.
It would be interesting if they have any relation, like it would be,
That might be a deeper study for the future,
yes.
But
Go ahead.
I read this book, The Psychopathology of Hitler,
Mhm.
and in there they imply that
He's the son of a Jew.
he was the son of Jew, that while his mother was a maid at
a Jewish
she
house.
got pregnant from, and you see, Hitler didn't look like the white Aryan race. He looked kind of Jewish
Yeah.
because he have darker hair.
Mhm.
So that's why
He himself was an Aryan.
he was an
The-
Aryan. So that's why he had that inner hair. He was a psychopath. The psychopathology of Hitler. I read a few.
Yeah, I mean, there you go, man. So we have to be careful because that hate could come from anywhere.
Yeah.
All right. 9 through 11. Nina, can you read that for us? Verses 9 through 11.
Okay. If it is please the king, let a decree be issued to destroy them, and I will give it them. I give it 10,000 talents of silver to the king's administrator for the royal treasury. So the king took his signing ring from his finger and gave it to Haman, son of the Hammedash, the Agastes, the enemy of the Jews. Keep the money, the king said to Haman, and do it with the people as you please.
Look at that. So look at Haman would say, look, I'll pay for it to get it done, okay? I'll
Yeah.
pay to get it done and make sure it happens. But the king says to
Keep your money.
keep your money, don't worry about it. I trust you, right? He says that. And isn't that dangerous? That even the guy who's like, I'm really to put it in the way, the king said, don't worry about it. I trust you. And it's going to cause problems later, as we could
We
see.
definitely could see in a man an emissary of the devil.
I mean, somebody's about of hatred that the question was a simple one.
Oh,
That's why. Ralph, man, this wheel is
Stuck with Ralph.
that's stuck out. Ralph, read 13 to 15 for me, please.
13 to
12 to 15, my bad.
12
Yeah, 12 to 15.
to 15.
Yeah.
to the end.
Yeah. Then on the 13th day of the first month, the royal secretaries were summoned. They wrote out in the script of each province and in the language of each people all Haman's orders to the king's satraps, the governors of the various provinces, and the nobles of the various people. These were written in the name of King Xerxes himself and sealed with his own ring. 13. Dispatches were sent by couriers to all the king provinces with the order to destroy, kill, and annihilate all the Jews, young and old, women and children. On a single day, the 13th day of the 12th month, the month of Adar, and to plunder their goods.
I'll let you stop there. We'll do 14, 15 next, but
Okay.
with that in mind, we actually could tell, let's see who was paying attention to the thing. How much time is this command sent to when the action will take place?
About 11 months.
About 11 months. If you read, it's the first month of the year, and it's going to happen on the 12th month. So you talk
Yes.
about in a year, I tell you, hey, I will destroy you and your whole family and people. The people it's going to be a difficult time, and not too dissimilar to the story of Hitler, since we mentioned it. The people had a indication that bad time's going to come, right? And what did some of them do? They go, let's get leave, right?
He did it in stages.
Only 35,000 left, Bravo, when they gave him the one in 1934.
Look at that. So sometimes you get the warning, and the people would be reasonable to say, let's leave, right? And some people say, and luckily here in a story of Esther, it works out. But
Yeah.
if you told me, hey, in 11 months, I'm coming to your house and steal everything, take your wife, your children, and leave you dead on the ground.
5 million.
You know, I
Jews.
think I guess I'll move.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can sell this house for at least a little bit.
Yeah.
Right?
Where would you go?
You have to figure that out. I mean, you have to go to another kingdom,
The
or
next kingdom over.
There is always a way.
and then hopefully you have a skill that could transfer to the other. I guess not too dissimilar to the modern day. If you need to move somewhere, you need a job that you can do
But the
elsewhere.
truth is, even they would escape to another country. The biggest amount of Jews were killed in Poland. In Poland, they had more Jews than in Germany. And about 3 millions of the Jews that were killed were in Poland. So if they left the continental Europe, but continental Europe was mostly conquered by Hitler, almost all of them, except England.
That's the difficulty part. Look, Hitler could have won in a different timeline, right?
Yeah,
And then no matter where
He
you
was
went,
very close.
He
yeah,
was very close.
in a different timeline, you know, there ain't no place to hide. So you have to,
Historians say that if Japan wouldn't have made the mistake of attacking us against Hitler will,
yeah.
he would have been ready and conquered the whole world.
And he wouldn't have attacked Russia.
Yes.
Yeah,
They
because he
made
made a
two
mistake. He made a pact with Stalin.
Well, luckily history is written by the winner. So he made a mistake, right?
So, you know, same thing that Napoleon did, he went against Russia, and history show that no European power has been able to conquer Russia.
And with that, let's go to 14 and 15 and finish off the chapter here. Go ahead, Renee.
A copy of the text of the edict was to be issued as law in every province and made known to the people of every nationality, so they would be ready for that day. The couriers went out, spurred on by the king's command, and the edict was issued in the citadel of Susa. The king and Haman sat down to drink, but the city of Susa was bewildered.
Brandon, look what I think. We have a winner.
Either way,
You
Minister.
got a winner from far away, man.
or a loser, they said.
That's what it is. Mine is a winner.
That being said, why are people bewildered, Dad?
Come on, man. They're gonna come into your house, kill you, steal everything. You be scared and cry.
Oh, they mean all
Mommy.
people, they mean all the people of the empire. only
Yeah,
Jewish
why is
people.
all the people confused though?
Yeah, because
Because it don't make no sense.
Because
They
they
work
never-
for the next day.
and they never heard this kind of decree. Just citizen of the.
We have to,
They could
it's very important to note that what's happening here is this is a plan that's being enacted by Haman, right? This is a plan of his own creating, right? Haman. And because of this plan though, the people of the nation, they're like, the Jews, man, like, but Mordecai over here, you hate Mordecai? We're gonna, I guess I like his house, but like, I didn't know, you know? But like, it's the cause of the situation, and it really indicates that in this nation, it's not that it's a plot against the Jews. It's really the power of one man pushing his agenda, and pushing his goal. And this is danger that even one person who manifests their hatred against you could cause huge problems.
And that's the beauty of, you know, when the people shaking the nation, even though that thing in January, something was bad, but politicians were shaking and they were reminded that if you push the people too
That
far,
was a good
we
thing.
have
That's
to
a very
balance.
bad thing.
No, that was a good thing because the government know that people still have power.
Thank you
and
for
they can
listening
take
to
you out.
Excuse me?
Yes.
They can take you
He
out.
has a question.
Oh, go ahead.
Well, we saw Haman wanted to destroy the Jews there. Does that have any correlation to Hamas one?
I don't know if the name Hamas has any relation to the name Haman.
But
But,
it's only one left.
but, yeah, but I don't, again, maybe it's way different in their actual language, right? That being said, you know, Jews being targeted, as we can see, is something of the past, is something of the
Are they the
present,
most
probably gonna be something in the future too.
Are they
If
the
we
most
follow history,
persecuted people of all time?
I mean, depending who you ask.
Yeah,
I have to
because
look
they
at a lot of
because
history.
they killed Christ.
Africans.
I have to look at a lot of history.
The African used to do it to themselves among the tribe,
Yeah.
but the Jews are.
They got
But the
taken out
Jews
their
would
country.
also